Vipers will begin the ball the second half as they've won the toss and they've chose to defer in the first half. They're going to be going from west to east, left to right on your screens. As the second half starts up pretty soon, any second now. They have to come out and do the same thing they were doing in the first half, Ryan. I'm John Stevens. Alongside me was Ryan Fahey, our cameraman. BS.
He's got a name.
Big Brian right here. He's
Big Brian Sturm.
Big Brian Sturm over here.
We call him Big Brian Sturm, but he's the shortest of the three.
Hey,
so.
That's why he has the crate. I'm kidding.
Hey, you know what?
Kidding,
For the record,
kidding.
I had no height jokes going into this one. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Well, I'm smaller, just as big as Brian is.
But anyway, John, to answer your question about what to expect in the second half, you'd have to expect the Vipers to pull the same kind of momentum that we saw a bit in the first half in terms of if they put Josh Hampton in for every snap. We didn't see that too often in the first half. He had a couple plays in the first half that made you go, wow, but he wasn't out there for every single play. And it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to be utilized here in the second half. As he's out there right now on the far side, and Josh Hampton is going to take it almost all the way. Almost could break one defender as he got the handoff from Noel Rivera on the far side. He takes it into Raider territory. He's going to be marked down at the Waukesha 37-yard line, excuse me. But as I just mentioned, Josh Hampton, wow.
Yeah, just getting a 33-yard run on that play. Rivera handed it off as they were in the shotgun, and he swept to the left and just took it down the sidelines. He didn't get touched till about 25 yards down the field, and then he finally got stopped. What a play. I was down there on the field trying to see what was wrong with him because he wasn't playing every down last year, and he got a little nick on his leg earlier. But that run, he looked like he was absolutely fine. As he comes out, it's 1st and 10. Rivera's in shotgun formation. They have two receivers, one tight end. As Hampton's to the right, they do the same exact play, sweep to the left as he breaks it around the tackle.
Oh, goodbye.
And he is gone for
goodbye.
the touchdown.
Woo-hoo!
Untouched.
Josh Hampton.
2 plays, 70 yards.
Wow.
That's what they needed from him. And I was, like I said, I was down on the sidelines to see if there was anything wrong with him. Apparently, there's nothing wrong with him.
I don't see anything wrong with him on that play.
And if there is something wrong with him, I'm afraid to see what it is because that was impressive.
That was impressive. I think you might be sugarcoating it on that one. The score is 20-6 in favor of the Vipers. Would you guys leave Jen alone? 19-6, I apologize. Jen, our scoreboarder, actually assumed the extra point was already taken, but we're going to have to wait for that to be 20 now. So Zach Criswell is out to kick the extra point, so Jen, you might not want to go anywhere at this point as the clock is at 43-22 and counting to go here in this second half. Criswell out to kick the extra point. Jerry Breskis to hold. The snap by Fortuna, the kick by Criswell. It's up and good. It's now 20-6. So now Jen, who is engaged, newly engaged to Jay Fortuna, might I add, will put the 20th point on the home side of the scoreboard. As we are 2 minutes into the second half, 20-6 in the score in favor of your Chicago Vipers over the Waukesha Raiders. The winner will take on the Chicago Chaos in the National Conference Championship game next week here at Babe Serpico Memorial Field.
That was a huge opening drive in the second half to really set the momentum and to set the tone for these Chicago Vipers. Nothing was stopping Hampton on that drive. Not one thing. He was just explosive. And I think he got out of the 70 yards, besides him getting slown up on the first carry for 33 yards, I think he was touched once. Very great running.
How about half a touch? Does that count?
Yeah, I think he stopped himself by tripping from running too fast. All right, as the Raiders get the ball at the 30-yard line, as they're down 20-6 with 42 minutes left in the second half, so we're 2 minutes into the second half, I'd rather say. Vipers showing blitz, but Summer tosses it back to Morris. It's a flea flicker play as he overthrows.
Yeah, he overthrew his guy there, and he overthrew number 20, Tony Miller III, and he didn't overthrow him by much. But it caught the Vipers off guard, and if that was caught, that could have been 6 for the Raiders.
Yeah, that was a good idea. He was wide open. But Alan Morris, who's pretty much doing everything on their offensive end, really launched the ball because every Viper played the sweep to the right. That was a well-designed play. It would have been better if he would have caught it. He's going to lead a 2nd and 10 at the 30-yard line, as Semler is huddling with the Raiders right now, getting the play called in from the sides. It's a beautiful day today in Melrose Park at Memorial Field.
Well, evening. It's dark out.
Evening.
It's day overseas in London.
We got our channel-tuned weatherman over here.
Well, that's got nothing to do with time. I'm your geographical expert, then, not your
That
weather
too,
man.
plus the weather, because it is nice during the day and evening.
Yeah, the rain has held off, knock on wood, as I'm saying again. So it's been a nice, clear night here for some football.
Sumner gets a snap. It's a bad snap as he breaks down, as he scrambles. He relieves the pocket as Roan meets him at 3 yards in and stops him.
Shane Voigt there on the lead.
He's going to get about 3 or 4 yards on the pickup. It's going to be 2nd and 6 at the 35, 34-yard line.
It's going to be about 2nd down and 6 yards to go for the Raiders coming up. As there's 40 minutes and 35 seconds left to go here in the second half on the clock. Once we hit the 3-minute mark, we'll play the clock as if it's the NFL. There'll be a 2-minute warning. And it's 9-on-9 Gridiron Football for those just listening in for the first time to the Gridiron Football League here on SportsTownChicago.com. 45-minute halves. You play them like soccer. It's a running clock unless there's a scoring play or injury timeout that must be taken, or timeouts from either team. And it's 9-on-9 full contact football.
As the Raiders come out of the huddle, Semler is orchestrating the offense, telling these players where to go. He has 2 halfbacks standing next to him in the shotgun position. He has 2 receivers, 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom, 1 in the slot. He gets the snap at his knees. He backs up.
Drew Jones on it again. Woohoo!
Nowhere to go.
Drew Jones, Jamie Wyatt leading the way there defensively on the sack that stops the Raiders and Ryan Semler from going anywhere there. So Drew Jones, again, keeping that impactive force of himself going. He's a big guy. He's a very aggressive linebacker, and he's got the motor of a wide receiver.
Yeah. Yes, he does.
And that's going to be 4th down for the Raiders. They give up possession. They do the quote-unquote punt. So the Vipers get the ball back on offense as they have the 14-point lead.
The chain gain confused us because we were calling it 2nd and 6 on that play. I guess the chain gain wasn't up to it, but now it's going to be 1st down for the Vipers as they get the ball at their own 45 as they're going to be going left to right. Rivera's taking the field with the play in check.
So Rivera is just getting clarification on the sideline what his sideline wants him to run. Fortuna is going to be out there as an offensive weapon. As Josh Hampton is taking a seat right now. Looks like the trainer's looking at him, so maybe something happened on the previous offensive drive. They're going to look at him right now. So Hampton not in the game right now. Fortuna in.
Fortuna is at the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Rivera with Bruskus next to him as he hands it off to Bruskus, and Bruskus is met right away as he fumbles the ball.
And it's going to be recovered by the Vipers.
James Fountain.
It seemed to be a very delayed handoff from quarterback Noel Rivera. Seemed like he was surveying his options downfield, and then he decided to hand it off to Joey Bruskus at the last second. But it doesn't pay off there. It's a loss of 5 yards, so it's 2nd down and 15 now for the Vipers on their own 40.
That was a big stop for the Raiders right there, the way to contain them. It's going to be 2nd and 15.
Fortuna lines up as a receiver to Rivera's right.
Rivera's in shotgun. Bruskus is next to him, staying in as a blocker. Rivera has a lot of time as he throws it over the middle to who? I have no idea. Matt Kemp was standing there, and his brother Joel Camp was crossing the middle, and he didn't get to either one of them.
That might have been a route that was not supposed to be ran that way. Rivera kind of had his hands up in the air on that one, thinking, where was somebody downfield? He didn't get it. So maybe a little miscommunication there by the Vipers, but it's going to be 3rd down and 15 on their own 40. Lots of work here for Rivera in the offense to try to overcome here on this 3rd down.
He had a lot of time. I don't understand how he would even throw that ball. He could even take it off and run. He had a lot of pass protection as like I said earlier, Bruskus stayed in and blocked. Well, it's going to be 3rd down and long, 3rd and 15. Bruskus is standing to the left of Rivera. So they have a tight end, receiver top and bottom of your screen. The snap comes in. He stands there his time as he's pressured by Joe Plazinski. And they flush him out of the pocket. He gains about 3 or 4 yards, but it's not enough to get to the 1st down, not even get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down.
And
they're probably going to go quote-unquote punt.
Yeah, and it looks like the Vipers are staying out there. Rivera's in the huddle. TJ Storino's checking out there now for the Vipers, so.
No, they're
and now it looks like they're going to switch it. There we go, okay. Kind of a little bit of a delayed reaction there from the Vipers at first. Maybe they were thinking about going for it, but then
Taking
they
a little
not
time
to.
off the clock, it seems like what they did there.
You can't blame them for thinking that either. Save their energy for next week if they move on to next week's game, as long as the result holds up. And again, the winner of this game, if it stands right now, it'll be the Vipers taking on the Chaos in the National Conference Championship game. And the Chaos ended the Vipers' season, putting them just short of Gridiron Football League glory as champions last season. And if these two teams meet up in the playoffs again, we are going to have one heck of a game for you delivered here on SportsTownChicago.com.
It seems like whenever Hampton's out, their offense comes to a stalemate. And when he's in there, there's no stopping him. They got to come up with another dynamic edge to do something against this Raiders defense, because Hampton has been sitting down for the last 6 minutes taking care of his leg. Even though he wasn't touched, it's something that's been bothering him, but I don't understand. We'll keep an eye on it throughout the game. As the Raiders come out of the huddle, they got 3 receivers, 2 and down at the screen, 1 in the slot. The halfback to the left of them. Halfback that we haven't even seen before. Number 47 was back there for the first time in a snap, and that's Dan Kakelmeyer.
Yeah, Dan Kakelmeyer, the 5'10", listed here as a linebacker, 205 pounds in his 3rd year of semi-pro football.
They had him in staying in as a blocker. Really didn't do much as they lost 5 or 6 yards on the play. It's going to be 2nd and 20.
I can hear it in your voice, John. It is getting late here at Melrose Park.
Brian yawns, and it's contagious.
Yeah, it's one of our later broadcasts here on SportsTownChicago.com. We did not get started until about 9:30 Central Time here in Chicago. The first game in the first round of the playoffs between the Cast and the Swarm ran a little late. The kickoff was supposed to be originally started for 9, but we didn't get kicked off here until 9:30, so a little bit of a late night for everybody listening. So if the kids are staying up, you know what? I'm not going to be a parent. You kids can stay up. I don't care.
All right, Sumler gets the snap as he fakes the screen
and
to the
Drew
left.
Jones, my guy.
They're right in the middle. No faking him out. Sacks the quarterback for another.
Oh boy, Drew.
Had to be a 10-yard loss, so it's going to be 3rd down and about.
A country mile?
Yeah, it's going to be 3rd down and about 34 yards.
Ooh. Wow. The ball's going to be spotted on the Raider 9-yard line.
This is something similar we saw in the beginning of the first half in this game. They come out strong with 2 quick scores, and then all of a sudden each team scores, and then all of a sudden the next drive they both seem to go backwards.
Yeah, and we're towards the end of the first half, John, and seemingly here this second half so far, both teams have been going backwards with their offensive possessions.
Yep. Well, you know what? Like we said a couple times, you don't have Allen out there. Well, Allen's out there now as a backfield, as a halfback, as they line up in a
Alan Morris is getting a lot of work here. And that's a safety, or is it going to be intentional grounding? Or they're going to call it an incomplete. They're going to call it a safety. So that's 2 points for the Vipers. It's 22-6.
Miguel Tanus came in like Lawrence Taylor and just cremated him. He popped him so hard the ball just went straight up in the air. They initiated it as a safety. They get 2 more points. The score is now 22-6 with 33 minutes remaining in the second half. What a play by Tanus to get in there and just literally deliver a strike.
Yeah, the offensive line for the Raiders has just been non-existent here in this second half. The defensive line for the Vipers has been having no trouble getting to the pressure of the quarterback, that being either number 82 in the tight end who has been playing quarterback, Travis Guy, or the original quarterback for number 15, Ryan Semler. Pressure has not been an issue for the Vipers' defense here tonight, though, John, I will say.
No, it has not. They are going to get the ball back.
So now Frederick Cornely is going to check into the game, along with maybe T.J. Storino. Looks like they're going to decide what personnel they want on the field right now, but it looks like they might have enough for this play. Let's see what happens on the next play.
They get the ball at the 50-yard line after the safety. They're going to get it as Rivera comes out of the huddle. Viper ball, winning 22-6 with 32 minutes left in the second half. They have a receiver on top and bottom of the screen with a tight end. They do the handoff right up to number 69, Vince Nicolini.
And Vince getting his first touch as a running back here tonight.
Yeah, and he just pummels right through for a gain of about 18 yards, and the ball's going to be at the 15-yard gain. It's going to be at the 35-yard line. First down. What a good, what's the word I'm looking for?
Good run?
Yeah, not run. It's a good diversion, I guess. No one expected him to get the ball. It was a good trickery.
As we have 31-17 to go here in the second half.
Rivera comes out of the huddle with 2 tight ends, 2 receivers, and a halfback. He gets the snap, a little high, fakes the handoff. As he keeps it himself, the quarterback option to the left. There's a flag on the play. Rivera picks up 9 yards, runs out of bounds.
That looks like it's coming back, though. I think that's coming back. Looks like that's going to be holding on somebody on the offensive line for the Vipers. That might be on James Fountain.
I think it's on 95. You're right. James Fountain did get hit with the holding.
And the contagious yawning has still affected the broadcast booth here. I know we're approaching midnight on the East Coast. We'll get the flag sorted out momentarily, but the Vipers are presuming that it was on them.
It's going to be a 10-yard penalty. It's going to be back. It's going to be first down
It's going to be actually
and 20 at the 45-yard line of the Raiders. It's all right. They're looking. The Vipers are looking pretty good right now as they have a 16-point lead. Rivera comes out of the snap in the shotgun formation. A receiver at the top of your screen. Stan waits at the top.
And we got a flag thrown on the field as they were getting ready. And what are we going to have here? I don't know what we're going to have here. And it's going to be unsportsmanlike against the Vipers. So they're going to call that one on David Rose. And that's going to be another 15-yard loss. So a big penalty, a bad penalty for the Vipers that's been taken as we have 30 minutes now to go here in this second half.
It's 1st and 35.
Wow. First and a long way to go. It might be a good thing it's only first down for the Vipers. That's 1st and 35. I don't think I've ever heard that in a football field.
This is where you need to get Hampton in there.
And he is still here on the sidelines.
He's right in front of us
I just want to add that right now.
Yep. Rivera comes out of shotgun as he gets the snap. He has Briskus at the bottom.
He's got a lot to work with
here. He has Stan White at the top of the screen. Number 69, Vince Nicklin's in the fullback position, staying home this block. And Rivera has all the time in the world as he scrambles, throws the ball.
And it's going to be Briskus that catches it.
Wide open to Briskus at the 31-yard line.
Wow.
A gain of 24 yards.
And it's going to be second down.
And 11.
No, I think it's going to be 2nd down and 6, actually. It's within the original line of scrimmage. They got all the way back to it. They're going to place the ball at the Raider 32-yard line.
Wow, that was
a humongous gain there on first down.
That was a great pickup block by Vince Nicklin to give Rivera an extra minute or 2 to throw the ball.
So it's only going to be 2nd down and about 7 yards to go. And let's just remember this, John Stevens. It was just 1st down and 35.
Yes,
what a
sir,
play there from Briskus and Rivera.
As Rivera comes out of the huddle with the same formation. Ashley Fortuna's at the top of your screen as a receiver. And at the bottom is number 10, Anthony Storino, with a tight end position. And number 69 still in the back, Vince Niccolin, as he stays in the block, giving Rivera that extra time to pass. He steps up in the pocket, and this time he's going to take off. But he's not going to go anywhere, really.
He's going to get a couple yards, though, so he did make something out of nothing. So it's going to be about 3rd down and 4 to go.
Alex Kepler caught him from behind to prevent him from getting the first down. They might have gotten 1 or 2 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 4 at the 29-yard line. Vipers, what do you think they're going to do here?
I would think you might want to look for Vince Nicklin to get the snap here.
Just pound the ball like they did before?
I don't see – I mean, it worked on that one play, but, I mean, Vince Nicklin is a power horse kind of guy. He can run you over, and he doesn't even need to be going at full speed. So maybe look for Vince Nicklin here to get the snap here as he's going to be lining up to Rivera's left hip in the shotgun.
As Fortuna's at the top of the screen, and we have Storino at the bottom of the screen. Rivera is in shotgun, takes the snap. He doesn't hand it off. He rolls out to the right as he's being chased down by Kepler.
He's going to get it, though.
He's going to get the first down. He stays in bounds, and he's met by 4 or 5 Raiders.
What a play there by Noel Rivera.
Why would he do that?
You don't like your quarterback taking that kind of a hit, though. Well, Rivera's okay, and he just got his team a first down.
Very, very physical there, but yeah, you don't want your quarterback taking hits like that.
I don't. Yeah, that's something as a coach.
Especially with this kind of lead.
It's something that Fortuna might want to tell Rivera, hey, take it easy a little bit. We have a comfortable lead right now. We'd like to have you for next week against the Cavs if they get that far. So,
Agreed. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line as they come out in a shotgun formation. Same formation with number 22, Bruskus at the bottom of the screen. Camp at the top. Rivera hands it off to Nicolene. Nicolene plows up the middle, gains about 4 to 5 yards.
He got about 8, actually. He kind of took an extra dive there as he was about to fall down, so he's going to be right at about the 11-yard line. So it might just be 2nd down and 1. So they have it spotted at the Raider 11 with 26:35 to go. 22-6 in favor of the Vipers still.
You got the better angle on this one.
I'll do my best.
No, I don't want to be in the way of the camera.
Yeah, we can't let Brian B.S. Sturm, start spitting BS, if you will. No pun intended.
Rivera is in shotgun.
He's got
Nicolene on the right side of him.
He's got Joel Kemp on the far side. Look for him as well.
At the top of your screen, what a horrible snap where Nicolene almost pulled it out of the air himself. Rivera breaks 2 tackles, rolls out to the right. As he cuts back in, he takes off a safety, and he drops the ball. Is it?
Are they going to say
it's still a live ball.
And
he fumbled the ball, and they picked it up in the end zone, and they're going to go. He could go all the way.
You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Unbelievable. He's out of bounds at the Viper 24-yard line. No whistle was given. Noel Rivera is absolutely livid on the opposite side of the field.
Rivera once again not going down.
Wow. I'm at a loss for words.
What a mental.
It looked like Rivera was down, and everybody on the Vipers is I can't explain what just happened.
I don't know if he was down or not.
What did happen was that Rivera dove to the end zone. It appeared that he lost possession of the ball as he was going to the ground. The whistle never blew, and the Raiders took advantage of that, picked it up, and ran it all the way back into Viper territory at the Viper 23-yard line, and it's Raiders' ball with 23 yards to go to try to score a touchdown.
What a turn of events here. What a huge play.
Unbelievable.
This could be a little momentum.
I can't say whether I agree or disagree with the call. We didn't have the best angle on that one, but the Vipers are furious on the sideline.
The Vipers coach is halfway out on the field screaming.
Everybody was doing the same thing.
It's going to be the Raiders.
Wants an explanation because he is not happy with that one at all. He's kind of giving the smile of, you got to be kidding me. So now the Vipers defense has to get ready again. Jay Fortuna conferencing with all the refs to get an understanding of what just happened. And Jay Fortuna, might I add.
He's trying to get an explanation from these referees as he has a meeting at the 10-yard line in his zone. As right now, the Raiders have the ball as they're coming to the huddle, but nothing's going on right now as the referees are all oblivious to what's going on with all the talking.
All players, all 9-on-9 guys are out on the field. The offense and defense, respectively, for each team are ready to go. Jay's got all the refs in one circle right behind the Viper defense to explain what happened. What an interesting turn of events we have here. Wow. And Noel Rivera's going to go out there and probably get an explanation himself.
If I was Rivera, I'd stay put.
Yeah, I think if you're, and the coaches are holding him back down. They want him to stay put. They want everybody to stay put. And
Fortuna seems like he got his explanation. He's going to let it slide. Rivera's out there now.
Rivera. Somebody's got to get Rivera off the field. This is going to go too long. Rivera's got to get off. They can't let this happen. And the Raiders are calling to say that he's stalling, but you got to get Rivera off the field. Everybody's got to cool down out there now.
All right, as the Raiders get the ball, they're going to get the ball. Just off of incredible
chaos out on the
field. As a heads-up play by the defense. The Raiders have the ball at the 22-yard line of Viper territory. The Semler comes under the center in an I formation, hands it off to Allen, and he's met at the point of handoff.
It's going to be Greg Silsby on that one. So Greg Silsby and Drew Jones have been leading the way here for the majority of this, for the defense, for the Vipers.
So it's going to be a loss of 5 yards on the play, maybe a little bit more, 6. It's going to be 2nd and 16 as that was probably one of the first snaps I've seen all game where they were lined up under center. Raiders are in huddle.
Seemed like a long time since we actually got some football back underway.
It's 24 minutes left in the second half as it's 22-6. I'm John Stevens, Ryan Fahey, reporting live from Ralph Babes for Pico Memorial Field. As the Raiders have the ball at 4 receivers. Semler's in the shotgun position. No running backs back there. He's all alone, directing traffic as he's pointing to Alan Morris to separate from Tony Miller as they're standing next to each other at the bottom of your screen. Semler gets the ball. Stenus gets in there and makes him throw the ball up.
No flags are thrown, so it's just an incomplete pass. It's going to be 3rd down and about 16 to go.
These Viper coaches are very frustrated with these referees. They better take it easy before they give up another dumb penalty.
I think everybody's still hot about the previous Rivera fumble just a couple minutes ago. Everybody's got to cool down out there.
It's going to be 3rd down and 15. The Raiders are huddling. The Vipers are all very vocal after that play. They have a lot of energy here. They're frustrated. I think they're very upset. They're still talking about that play that happened about 10 minutes ago.
I understand that they're frustrated, but you got to calm down. You got to cool your jets.
It's over. Move on. Play's done.
You
can't do nothing to fix it.
No, and you hit it right on the head there, John. You make an excellent point. I was hearing on the sidelines Andy Jones just telling his guys, we're not going to get the call. Just move on. So
it's leadership right there.
Yeah, I was going to say good leadership, and everybody's jumping off. Now the flags are thrown, and it looks like it's going to be a false start against the Raiders, so that's going to back him up 5 yards.
Ryan Summer had a heavy count going, and he got a couple of the guys to jump, but he had his own team jump with it.
Yeah, he had a heavy hard count going, if you will. So
that's what I meant. I'm sorry. As they discuss it, if it's going to be a false start or if it's going to be offsides.
I thought one of the receivers for the Raiders jumped, causing the. I'm going to say it's offsides.
Offsides on the Vipers now.
Wow. I don't know about that. It was
close on either end. The refs got it right. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. It's going to be repeat down.
I don't know. That's close.
It was very close. It's going to be 3rd down and 11 at the 25-yard line. Semler comes out of shotgun as he directs Morris to line up in the slot receiver at the bottom of your screen. They have 3 receivers at tight end. Semler gets the snap. That's a fall.
That's got to be a false start. If that's not a false start, I might walk out of here. Thank you. Thank you, officials.
That was a false start on Alan Morris, one of the best players.
Okay, good thing I didn't have to leave you guys then. So that's going to back him up 5 yards. So you get that 5 yards. Now we're playing catch you with the 5 yards back and forth. Penalties here and there everywhere. As the clock is at 21:14 and counting. Vipers have a 22-6 lead over the Waukesha Raiders.
I would like to say that was probably their 15th penalty of the game. A lot of penalties on both sides of the ball.
There has been
loss of focus.
It's just maybe a lack of discipline, too, I want to add as well for both sides. Vipers have taken some bad penalties. The Raiders have taken a lot of bad penalties, as we've seen here throughout the night. That's got to be cleaned up for whoever goes on to play the Chaos next week. And if the Chaos are watching this and listening to this one right now, and they're hearing about all these penalties, they might be licking their chops at this one.
Storino is exiting the field right now. As Semler gets the ball in a shotgun, looks to his left, throws it, and it is picked off.
And the play is still going, and now they blow the whistle, and Shane Voigt is going to take it back, and now it's a late whistle, and wow.
Hey,
that was the biggest late whistle. You couldn't be more later on that whistle.
Albert Green had the pick.
He had the pick. He dropped it. They wanted to say there was possession made by the defender. He dropped it. Shane Voigt picks it up, and as he was running to take it in for the touchdown defensively for the Vipers, they blow the whistle and stop the play. I don't understand that at all. I am as frustrated as the Viper players on the sidelines right now. I don't understand that at all. I don't get it. I don't get it. If you're gonna blow the whistle, you better blow it.
Well,
I don't understand it.
See what they're yelling.
And they're calling that still I don't get it. That's a terrible call. That is a brutal call. I don't understand that.
Fortuna, the captain, is on the side.
It makes absolutely no sense.
It's almost as bad as a call.
How do you consider that interception? And I don't get it. This doesn't make sense why it's 4th down. It should not be 4th down. It should not be 4th down.
All right, Ryan.
I don't get it.
It's 4th down, anyways.
Hopefully,
at the
Cheetah's
30-yard
proof.
line.
I'm hoping
Semler's
Cheetah's
back
proof
in the
works
field
here.
by himself.
Get him.
Tanus airs the ball out,
Are you kidding me?
and they score on
Wow.
it. Number 4,
You know-
Ellen Moore,
you know what?
scores a touchdown.
The officials just gave the Vipers, a less of a lead. I don't understand this at all.
All right, Ellen Morris
I don't get
catches
it.
the ball. It's a touchdown. The same exact play.
Wow.
They went back to him. He's in there. They get
Wow.
6.
I don't get it.
Vipers just need to stay focused. I know they got 2 bad calls on this drive.
They're lucky I'm not on the field right now. I'd be losing my head.
These referees are going to have to run out of here after the game.
Wow. Basically, the referees just gave the Raiders 6 points. Not to discredit anything in the Raiders. That was a great play that was given by Morse for the touchdown, but
It was a great throw by Sumler.
wow, I don't get it.
It's the score. It brings the score to 22-12 with under 20 minutes left in the second half. The Vipers will be getting the ball back.
The Raiders have life in this game now, all because of one bad call.
There's more than one bad call that done it. I would say it's about 2 or 3
but
bad
was
calls.
but that led to scores though. That's the key thing.
Starting with the turnover, Ryan.
Yep. As
leading to this missed call fumble here.
Yep. And Alex Bossel was going to kick the extra point, but they try to fake it, and Drew Jones brings down the quarterback Ryan Semler, and Drew Jones brought it down for a reason. And there was some jaw jabbing on the field now, and everybody's got to be careful here. Everybody's got to be careful. And there is chaos everywhere on the field. Just a little pushing and shoving, and maybe he's talking some words that are not allowed for broadcast purposes.
He takes his helmet off. He throws the ball at Drew Jones. Poor lack of sportsmanship. I'm surprised there's no.
I don't know who started it, and
what happened was he got sacked and he finished the tackle.
I'm very surprised no flags were
thrown on Semler. It should have been a flag in sportsmanship on Semler.
If you're gonna call this tight, call it tight. And there's been plays where you don't blow the whistle. You blow the whistle. You blow the whistle 5 seconds late, when 2 instances happened, which led to the Raiders' touchdown immediately after that play. And when there's a skirmish like this, something happened that was worthy enough of a flag, whether it was on the Vipers or the Raiders. You don't throw a flag. There's no control right now. There's
Rivera, the Vipers got the ball at their own 30. 17 minutes left. 17 minutes, 20 seconds left. They got Hampton in the halfback standing next to him in shotgun formation. They hand it off, fake handoff to the sweep. Rivera keeps it. He rolls to the right, stutter steps. He tries to plow one guy.
Oh, he does.
He trucks 1 or 2 people, and then he gets held, and he gains about 5 or maybe more than that, about 12 yards. At the 42-yard line, it's going to be 1st and 10.
Josh Hampton is
back
out
there. The Vipers cannot be distracted over stupid calls. They've had this game in momentum the whole time.
Yeah,
they need to stay focused and keep doing what they're doing.
Josh Hampton back out there for the Vipers now, as we have 16 minutes to go, 16:43 to be exact.
They used Hampton as a decoy on that last play, and the whole defense ran with him as Rivera kept the ball. They come out of the shotgun formation. Hampton's to the right of them. There's 2 receivers, 1 at the top, Fortuna's at the bottom.
And
I apologize, not Fortuna.
There's a flag down, and that's going to come back. That's probably going to be on the Vipers. Looks like they might get that one for a false start or illegal formation, potentially. Get the call in just a second.
The refs are discussing. This game is very slow because of these referees calling penalties and not really understanding what they're calling. 16 minutes left in the second half. We're here at Ralph Babe Serpico Memorial Field. The score is 22-12. You're listening to SportsTownChicago.com. I'm John Stevens. Alongside of me is Ryan Fahey. The Chicago Vipers have the ball at the 42-yard line. It's going to be 1st and 10 as they come out of the huddle. The Raiders have some sign of life after 3 missed bad calls in the previous drive, and it's kind of taken the Vipers out of the game, but they cannot lose focus, Ryan.
No, they cannot. And as the clock runs with 15:30 to go, the flag was against the Raiders for, I believe they said it was a illegal formation, or too many men, I should say. I apologize. And
all right, so it's going to be,
considering for the Raiders having that many people, you wouldn't think too many men would be a penalty they would get, but sure enough, they did.
All right, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line as they got the penalty. They hand off to Hampton. Hampton sweeps it out to the right, breaks it around the corner, and he gets taken out of bounds.
Whoa, how about
and
a
then
late
slam,
hit? Yep,
late hit.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So a late hit is going to be called on the Raiders. So Ref's got that one right.
Yes,
very clear late hit by 3 Raider defenders. So
as the referee's pulling Rivera away from him, telling him calm down. These guys are starting to lose focus. They got to.
Well,
what they need to do is score a touchdown.
The Vipers don't need to say a word. The call went their way.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't know why there's no need to jam about that one. I don't understand it.
Stop chirping and play the game.
Couldn't agree with you more, John. Couldn't agree with you more. That's why they leave the chirping for us.
Yes.
To discuss the play. Not yell at anybody, but to discuss what's happening.
Number 82 substitutes on the field.
Stan White coming out. Yep.
Is Hampton's... Is he back in the huddle? Did he get back here?
No, he's sitting by the cooler again, so he's taking another breather.
It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Vipers at the 21-yard line. With 14 minutes left in the second half, 22-12. A very important drive, big play here. Bruckus is standing left to Rivera in the shotgun formation as Fortuna's at the bottom of your screen. And White's at the top as Rivera's running around, busts up the middle.
That was like a
breaks it to the right. He gets to the end of the touchdown. 6 points for Rivera. Spins the ball.
And it's 28-12.
As he's sportsmanship, man. You guys can't lose your sportsmanship here.
No, that's why Rivera immediately wanted to fly away and get out of there as quick as possible.
Did you see what he did?
Yeah, the little spin with the ball.
And then he smacked the guy in the back of the head.
Yeah.
That's why the defensive
players. If you ever watch
CSI,
if you ever watch CSI in the Wall Rivera's events, you ever hear the Gibbs slap?
Yeah, it wasn't a
I think we're going to clarify that as a Gibbs slap.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we'll go with that.
But they can't lose focus over this. They're winning. They just got to end this game on a positive note.
Yep.
And take all this energy over to the next game because it's going to be a tough game next week.
Yeah. Criswell gets the extra point, so it's 29-12. So 13 minutes left to go.
Rivera, with a heads-up run, really broke that out to the right side and scored. That was a big touchdown play. Calms his team down.
That seemed like a broken down play. Rivera was looking to his left to throw. Couldn't find anything going that way. Just found a couple alleys up the middle. He broke out to his right and sure enough, he got the 6 points.
Stan White was covered by Cooper, and he had to go to the right. But the most positive part about that play is the fact that they scored. It calms the Vipers down, and hopefully no more stupid penalties and bogus calls are made for the rest of this game. But it definitely calmed their team down after that ridiculous drive previous to their scoring touchdown.
And just to clarify some of the statements I made earlier, I'm not just trying to say that just because we're the home of the Vipers.
No,
I'm not trying to say that because of
bad.
that. It was just
bad,
a bad sequence
bad
of calls. It was bad officiating. I'm not trying to say that just because in favor of the Vipers or anything.
I hope we don't get fined tomorrow.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time I get fined about something.
All right, well, the Raiders are going to get the ball. They're going to be down by 17 with 12 minutes left in the second half. This is a do-or-die drive here. They need to get points on this drive. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they do. As Semler comes out of the huddle in shotgun, he has Allen to the right of him as they have 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen, 1 slot and 1 at the top. Fortuna's on a sideline, marching up and down, cheering his guys to go. Semler gets the snap. Screen pass out to Allen. Allen catches it, cuts it back in the inside. As he makes 2 guys miss, he gets shoestring tackled, and he's held up for a loss of probably about 5 yards, going nowhere. Great defense to stand there.
Yeah, Greg Silsby finished off that tackle there as we have 11:23 to go in this game. Vipers have the 17-point, 29-12 lead. And if the result holds up, the Vipers will play the Chaos in the National Conference Championship game next week here at Babe Serpico Memorial Field.
All right, it's going to be 2nd down and 16 from the 24-yard line, 23-yard line, I'd like to say. 2nd down and 17 from the 23-yard line. Raiders are in huddle. Vipers are ready to go. They got about 6 guys right there in the box. As the Raiders come to the huddle, they have 3 receivers, 2 to the bottom of your screen, 1 in the slot. Ted Miller, defensive back, is playing the slot receiver as they have Allen lined up to the left of Semler in the shotgun position. As a snap comes to Semler. And it's not a snap. He bowled it in there.
Drew Jones is on it.
Drew Jones gets the...
He doesn't get it, actually. But it's going to be Viper football. All right.
He doesn't get it, but number 44 got it.
That's Greg Silsby.
Right there. And now that is pretty much it. Takes the wind out of...
And if you're the Vipers, you get a quick score here and then try to just drain the clock as much as possible and look forward to next week.
Definitely takes the energy completely out of the Waukesha Raiders.
It was dwindling already.
The Raiders.
There we go. Chris Berman's back in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
What a very crazy series of events that's happened here in the last 15 minutes of this game. A lot of emotions
Crazy,
riding.
I think, is sugarcoating it, to be honest.
A lot of emotions riding on this game as the previous winners of the earlier's game, the Chaos, are all at the other end of the sideline scouting this game. They better be, because
head coach Mike Oliver is here on hand watching this game, along with assistant coach Vince Mucci.
as Rivera comes back out, he's in a double halfback shotgun position. He is Nicolene to the left.
Two guys almost caught the snap, one being Jamie Wyatt, the other Rivera. And he got taken down at about the 7-yard line. It's going to be 2nd and goal now. My apologies, they're actually going to bring him back to the 9-yard line as we have 9 minutes now to go in this game.
Jamie Wyatt's coming off the field and Nicolene. As Rivera's in a huddle, taking some time off the clock. Smart strategy there as they're up by 17 points with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left in the second half of our second game today in our playoff. Rivera comes out of the shotgun formation. He has one receiver at the top of the screen. He brings two halfbacks in next to him as they power dive it right up the middle.
It's Drew Jones. He's going to run it in for a touchdown. Drew Jones gets the run in his first touchdown this season as a running back. And it's 35-12. Drew Jones, he's doing it all now. I think I've seen it all too.
That was a little father-son chest bump in the end zone, which he couldn't go wrong. They add another 6 points to the score. Now the total's 35-12 with 8 minutes left.
I did not expect Drew Jones to get that handoff. That's his first one as a running back this season.
It's like a William Perry kind of thing.
Yeah, the Vipers
not
version.
Not as big as William Perry, obviously.
The Vipers version of the fridge taking that one in as Chris Wall will kick it. Bruss gets the hold, and the kick is good, so it's 36-12. The Vipers are running away with this one as we have 7:45 and counting to go in this game.
24-point lead. I can't explain the series of chaotic events that happened in the last 20 minutes, but it seems that the Vipers gained their momentum, control, their level of energy, and they're starting to really put it on and tell these Raiders that their season's pretty much done.
They said the Raiders had life. You know, you got to give them credit. They have half of their team here only here today.
They had half of their team,
and
then
they
had four ringers that are all dressed as zebras that were helping them out.
Okay, even I wouldn't go that far, but
they weren't that bad. They
gave a good effort despite the fact they're down 24.
They had
half their guys are here.
4 calls that in the second half three calls that really made a big difference. But Semler and Morris have played outstanding for the lack of support of their own team, having been short a whole defense. Semler coming out of the shotgun with 4 receivers as he airs the ball up to Morris as he tries to undercut him as he picks it off. Dropped, incomplete.
Clock runs with 6:35 and counting to go. 36-12 to score in favor of the Vipers. And as if the result holds up, as it looks like it's going to, the Vipers survive for one more week, and we'll have the National Conference Championship game here on SportsTownChicago.com between the Chaos and the Vipers. They will meet for the 3rd time this year. The Chaos have won the previous 2.
Semler leading the Raiders at the 35-yard line. 4 receivers, 2 to the top, 2 to the bottom, each with a slot. It's Tony Miller in the slot at the bottom of the screen. He passes it out at the top of the screen to...
That's going to be to Monty Cooper, who was injured earlier in the game. New set of downs, and now him and Shane Voigt are going at it. And Cooper's going after Voigt. Flags are everywhere. And I would think Cooper's going to get called for a unsportsmanlike conduct. And limping off the field right now for the Vipers is Juan Santoro, the defensive back. So we'll get the clarification on the call, but it seems like Monty Cooper lost his cool there.
Yeah, he definitely lost his cool there. Referees throw the flags on the sidelines as he's still trying to go at Voigt. I don't know
why you need to do that. You just got a 20-yard gain, and then you're chirping off the Shane Voigt. I don't understand it. You just take the yards and just go with it. I mean, it looks like with these 5 minutes to go, you're down 24 points. I mean, I don't think you're going to come back and win it. I mean, unless you draw a miracle, it don't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're taking Cooper off to the sidelines, telling him to calm down.
I think as they should.
Yes. Absolutely.
And I believe they're actually going to call it both on. They're going to call on Cooper and Voigt, and Voigt has been ejected along with Cooper. So Shane Voigt and Monty Cooper have been ejected. Wow. So as the clock will continue to run, Shane Voigt's been ejected along with Monty Cooper. I don't understand why Shane Voigt was ejected. Cooper came after him. So what did Voigt do to get him ejected? I don't understand it. I'm very confused. Shane Voigt Cooper came after Voigt. So I don't understand what Voigt didn't do, or what did Voigt do that got himself ejected. I don't get it. Cooper came after him. I don't know. Either way, the clock will stop at 3:58. So the clock stops 36-12 in favor of the Vipers. And
I think this is the 12th meeting on the field.
I think I've lost count.
Yeah.
So either way,
both teams seem to lose a little bit of discipline in this game as the game got carried on with the momentum and energy.
I still want to know what Shane Voigt did that got himself ejected. I didn't see anything that he did wrong. He tried to keep his space. I mean, I feel like Hawk Harrelson here calling a White Sox game, saying you got to be beeping me, but I don't understand it. I don't get what Shane Voigt did. I don't understand it. We'll have to ask him about it later.
Both of them had their emotions take over, and they both acted like.
I think here's the thing. Cooper was the one who got in Voigt's face, though.
But Voigt threw a punch back at him.
He did throw a punch.
Yeah, he hit him back.
Well, let him fight it out. They're men, aren't they?
Nah, you don't let them fight it out. What you do is you get up and you run back to the huddle.
Aggressive type, I would say let him go at it, but
all right, as they resume play here on the 47-yard line, Semler gets the ball in the shotgun position, 4 receivers. As he rolls to the right, drops it back off in the underpass to Allen. As Allen busts 3 moves, breaks about 2 ankles, and then he's leveled at the 48-yard line as he crosses.
Get out of this skirmish, guys. Come on, don't talk anything. Just get back to your sides and finish the game.
As he gains about 6 yards, hard 6 yards, it's going to be 2nd and 4 at the Vipers' 47-yard line. As they hurry up offense, Semler's back there by himself.
Just talking with Shane Voigt about that, his ejection, kind of smiling it off now. He doesn't seem happy about it, and I don't blame him.
Semler gets well, and he is sacked by Tandus.
Oh, my goodness. Woo. There's no chair for me to fall back on, unfortunately. Miguel Tandus. Woo, woo, woo. Wow.
He just leveled him. And
Semler, you can hear that one.
Semler is still laying on the ground like, where did this guy come from untouched? He came in and just destroyed him. He sets him back about, that had to be at least a 13-yard loss, 12-yard loss. It's going to be 3rd and long with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. We are under the 3-minute rule, so NFL.
I don't see the need of trying to stop the clock here for the Raiders.
No.
It's over.
But the clock will stop on a timeout, a dead ball, out of bounds play. It is NFL rules
Greg
for 3 minutes
Silsby
left.
Actually has a cut above his nose right now. So he has to come off now as he takes that taken care of.
I'd like to do a shout-out to the December Days class and Charles March, who's listening. He's our cameraman for some of these games. He can't be here today.
Pleasure.
I'd like to do a shout-out to Charles.
Charles is a great cameraman and a great guy to work with.
Semler gets the snap. He screen passes out to Allen. Allen on the left takes it as he slips, as he tries to juke.
That's somewhere they say you're trying a little too hard.
Yeah. He's been having a great game today, Alan Morris. He's been probably at least 90% of their offense.
95?
It's
close to it.
Yeah.
The other 5% went to Monty Cooper before he got ejected.
I would say the other 5% went to Semler and the other 5% went to the refs. Hey, you know what's funny? I wasn't as harsh on the refs as the time was happening, but as time goes on, you can see that the refs obviously blew a couple calls. And I'm not taking any credit away from the Vipers or the Raiders. They're both playing fantastic games except for their emotions.
And I want to make it clear, too, we respect the refs, and, it's hard for them to call it. I mean, Even if we're out there, I mean, maybe
They got everybody chirping in their ear. There's no.
Yeah, and even if we were out there, we might make a bad call or two.
It happens.
It happens.
It's
and,
part
you know,
of being human. Mistakes are made.
We just call it like we see it. That's all.
All right, it's going to be 4th down, probably the last play of the game for the Raiders offense and for their season. Semler's in shotgun. They have 2 receivers at the top, 1 at the bottom as he just talked to Allen.
The clock has started with 1:45 to go in the game.
Semler gets a snap, a low, bad snap, bobbled, and he has nowhere to go with it.
He threw it behind his head.
The snap was horrible.
The throw was horrible, and it didn't work.
Tanus is right there again to make sure that nothing happens. It's a turnover on downs. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Vipers.
Yeah, and
it looks like they locked this game up with 1 minute and 37
seconds
left.
Rivera's just going to go out there and, just knee it, just run a play and let the clock run. I don't see a need to try to run for more plays. Rivera's, he's done for the night. Fortuna's going to be out there as quarterback right now, so this game is coming to an end, and the Vipers will survive for another week. And we have just been told that the man who's got the field named after him, Ralph Serpico, is here in attendance tonight.
I believe that is him. I'm 99.9% sure.
As we have 1:37 to go here to finish up this game. So the Vipers, for the 3rd time this season, will take on the Chicago Chaos, this time in the National Conference Championship game. We'll have that coverage for you next Friday night here on SportsTownChicago.com. Expect the kickoff to be at around 7 o'clock p.m.
All right. As Fortuna is out here to take the next 2 snaps, Rivera is on the sideline here. There's 1 minute and 37 seconds there. I don't know why they're discussing. Get this coach off the field so we get this game going.
I think Fortuna, you just. And we are being told that there's going to be an interesting play coming up. We're hearing this from Noel Rivera right now. Oh, boy. Here's Jay Fortuna, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to try to work some magic here. He's got Stan Wayne on his near side. He fakes it, and it's going to be to
number 72.
Yeah, that's going to go to
James Flynn.
That's going to go to the tight end. He's actually breaking a few tackles.
It was a tight end
Nobody's
screen.
bringing him down. He gets a 1st down and a whole lot more.
They were keeping him up for the ball to come out. The ball did come out, but they said he was already down. So that's the only thing they could do is try to strip the ball.
With 1:15 to go. You have to imagine that one more play's got to run, and this game's over.
What a game by the Vipers, an emotional game, a crazy second half.
Yeah, very. The second half was everywhere. The second half was everywhere, and it's ending on a good note for the Vipers, who will move on to play the Chaos in the National Conference Championship game next week, and we'll have that for you here on SportsTownChicago.com. So another week of Vipers football, so make sure you stick around for it all next week. So Brian Sturm and I will be at least back here for another week, along with John Stevens.
As they do the handoff to Nicoline. Nicoline powers his way for about 4 yards before he's stopped. And that's pretty much going to wrap up this game with 30 seconds left.
Both teams will meet at midfield. The clock will run, and it seems like the relief has been shown by the Vipers. They breathe a sigh of relief, and the Chaos are now ahead of them as Josh Hampton pulling off the little nay-nay dance here on the sidelines.
Definitely player of the game, by far.
Yeah, Josh Hampton had some incredible plays here tonight. Didn't play every snap, but nonetheless, Josh Hampton, player of the game, no question. Final score here, clock ends, Vipers 36, Raiders 12. The Chaos will play the Vipers in the National Conference Championship game. The winner of that one will go on to the Gridiron Football League Bowl that will take place in 2 weeks. Final thoughts, John Stevens.
It was a great game in the beginning of the first half, but in the second half, it just became a circus, really. Everybody coaching, all these people running the field yelling at the refs. But the Vipers outlasted all the Chaos and won, and they got a tough week ahead of them. So they better be practicing because
they beat out the quote-unquote chaos that took place on the field this week, but they face the actual chaos
next week,
and that's going to be something for the ages. We'll have that for you next Friday night here on SportsTownChicago.com. You will not want to miss it. It'll be the Chaos and the Vipers in the National Conference Championship game of the Gridiron Football League. You won't want to miss it. So for our cameraman who's done a tremendous job here tonight, Brian Sturmis, he's been with us every game for this season. And for John Stevens, I'm Ryan Faze. This has been Chicago Vipers football here on SportsTownChicago.com.